Is Uniform Civil Code about ensuring equal rights to women or about targeting some community? Does country come first or religion? Does rationality matter more or outdated customs? Were our constitutional makers stupid to include Uniform Civil Code in the constitution if it was never meant to be implemented? Or did they outsmart the religious fanatics by including Article 25 and Article 26 in the constitution? Is polygamy harming anyone? If yes, who? If not, why change? 21st Law Commission of India called Uniform Civil Code neither necessary nor required at this stage. So do we need Uniform Civil Code? India is a diverse country with so many beliefs, customs and ABC and XYZ and etc. So is Uniform Civil Code possible? Can religious and political leaders make a fool out of women? Well, they have. A better question would be, can the religious and political leaders continue to make a fool out of the Indian women? Is it sensible to have different ages of marriage for different religions? Is the physical and mental development of the human body different for different religions? In today's video, we are going to find answers to these questions and bust even more myths. So let's get started. As you all would know, civil laws concern marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption, maintenance, etc. Uniform civil codes make similar laws applicable to all the citizens of India. But why Uniform Civil Code if we already have personal laws? Two core reasons. First, multiplicity of laws. There are tens of laws and hundreds of conflicting court judgments in civil matters. We have Muslim Personal Law Act 1937, Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Prevention of Child Marriage Act 2006, Indian Christian Marriage Act 1872, etc. No other country allows for so much of uncertainty and confusion for its citizens. Second, some of these laws support and incentivize women abuse. For example, Muslim personal law prohibits adoption of child. It permits genital mutilation of women, forbids alimony, etc. It also permits child marriage. Because of this, the girl child does not go to school. And in case she does, she is forced to drop out of the school as early as class 8. These laws promote child right violations. If Uniform Civil Code is implemented, it will bring uniformity in the age of marriage, make child marriage a punishable offense for everyone, bring a uniform way of divorcing, alimony for whoever needs it, equal opportunity for adoption of a child, and equal inheritance right for women and men. So if Uniform Civil Code is beneficial for the country and women, why are some people opposing it? We need to see it from the human psychology perspective. Whenever there is change or reform, there will be some people who will oppose it, even if it is for the betterment of the country. Example, there was opposition when princely states were abolished in 1948, when zamindari system was abolished in 1951, when privy purses were abolished in 1971, LPG reforms in 1991, surgical strike happened in 2016, when Aadhaar Act was passed in 2016, when GST was implemented in 2017, when Article 370 was removed in 2019. I mean, there were opposers to Ajmal Kasabs and Nirbhaya rapists hanging as well. So it's clear, there will be opposers to change every time. But we have to do what is good for the country. So, resistance to change is the main reason. However, some other reasons are being spread to create tensions in the country. Let's check them out. Implementation of UCC is not possible because of the complexity and the confusion it will create. If Muslim League could implement Muslim Personal Law Act in 1937, We today in independent India can certainly enact a new law. Today we have better literacy rate, better law and order, and better justice system. Does bringing in a uniform civil code cause more confusion, or not bringing in a uniform civil code cause more confusion? To find its answer, let's see if you can answer the following question. Will a Muslim adult man and a child's relationship be covered under POCSO or under Muslim Personal Law Act? Did you say POCSO because it protects child rights? You might want to read Tawfiq versus the State Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi 2022. Next question. Does the child need the permission of her parents to marry an adult? Or can the child elope and marry? Is registration of such a marriage compulsory? If you have been able to answer all these questions without any confusion, then you realize what a serious threat this is for all children's safety. More debates and discussions are required to build a consensus on UCC. But there will always be opposers to anything and everything. The discussion has been going on for 75 years now. Generations have debated on this. If people have not been able to come up with a justification for women abuse in the past 75 years, there won't be any justification coming out in the next 75 years either. The first thing that the Constitution secures for me is justice, and most importantly, social justice. High time government implements Uniform Civil Code. In the name of modernity, our traditions are being sacrificed. Child marriage cannot be justified in the name of tradition. Child right abuse cannot be justified in the name of tradition. Discrimination against women cannot be justified in the name of tradition. However, there is one way that you can justify these wrongs: by shifting to Afghanistan. In fact, in Afghanistan, you can flog or stone a man or a woman to death. A pretty exciting place for the supporters of inhuman traditions. India is a diverse country with so many beliefs and customs and diversity and DPC and XYZ. So Uniform Civil Code is not possible. Does diversity mean that men and women are not equal? Does diversity mean that child sexual abuse is permitted in the country? Does diversity support female genital mutilation? Polygamy is not harming anyone, so why do away with it? It is harming the future of our country. It is harming our children. Let's understand this with the help of data using total fertility rate. Total fertility rate refers to the number of children which will be born to a woman. Ideally, it is 2.1, so 2 parents taking care of 2 children. But in a polygamous relationship, total fertility rate does not give the whole picture. Example, Muslim women total fertility rate or TFR is 2.4. So a man and his 4 wives will have 10 children on an average. Can one man's salary be enough to cover 15 people's cost of living? This is if the man does not divorce his wives. Divorce in Muslims is twice the national average. This is not because Muslim women are educated, independent and exerting their rights, but because they have minimal say in their own divorce. In fact, a divorce in Islam doesn't even have to be registered. So 10 children of one nuclear family. Yes, they are the country's responsibility. And the tax money is being used for that. Government is running hospitals, government medical colleges, Anganwadis, vaccination, free ration, etc. But the government can only do so much. The reality is that the children are stunted, malnourished, have incomplete mental development due to lack of nourishment and care by the parents. So polygamy is harming our children who are the future of our country. Polygamy is not that common. Divorce is not that common. Having more than 2 to 3 children is not that common. Okay, maybe it's not. Though I personally do know some of them, and I'm sure you do too. But let's entertain this thought. It's not that common. So that means that doing away with polygamy is not going to be a big problem, right? Community will reform itself. If women had a problem with polygamy, they would have come forward. But women maintain that for them, religion is more important than equality. So government should not interfere. Abdur Rahim Andre versus Padma Abdur Rahim Andre 1981. Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Shah Bano 1985. Usman Khan Bahmani versus Fatimunisa Begum 1990. Abdul Qadir versus Razia Begum 1990. Motiyar Rahman versus Sabina Khatun 1993. Kaka versus Hassan Bano 1997. Ahmedabad Women Action Group versus Union of India 1997. Kareem Abdul Rahim Sheikh versus Shehnaz Kareem Sheikh 2000. Daniel Latifi versus Union of India 2001. Shamim Ara versus State of Uttar Pradesh 2002. Ashfaq Qureshi versus Aisha Qureshi 2010. These are some of the cases filed by Muslim women in court. So if the community was listening to women, there would have been reforms decades ago. However, as seen in Shah Bano case, a woman standing up for her rights was crushed by the Muslim clerics and the ex-Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, with the passage of Muslim Women Protection Act 1986. So the women are asking for justice, but the community is denying it to them. That's why the women are knocking the doors of the court. We should not get UCC because polygamy is mainly practiced among the tribals of India, not amongst Muslims. The constitution has enough safeguards in place for the tribals. When tribal women start approaching the court for equal rights, we can have them covered under UCC as well. India is secular, so government cannot interfere in any religion. The state government has the power to interfere with any religion in case of social injustice. Example, Article 25B opens Hindu religious institutions to all sections of Hindus. So the state also has the power to rewrite the personal laws of any community. Since BJP has been formed, they are again and again bringing up the issue of UCC. Before BJP, there was no problem. This is such a silly argument, but still I'll clarify it. Constitution was completed in 1949 and BJP was formed way after that. Even the predecessors of BJP were formed after 1949. Indian National Congress was an absolute majority in the Constituent Assembly when UCC was included in the Constitution. Government is trying to divert people from real issues like poverty and unemployment. By saying this, you mean that justice for women is not a real issue. It is a fake issue. That child marriage is a fake issue. That female genital mutilation is not a real issue. Constitution gives me freedom of religion, that is Article 25 and 26, which are fundamental rights. So no government can change my religious practices. Article 25 and 26 are fundamental rights. But if you'll actually read these rights, you will be shocked because these are not absolute rights. They are subject to morality, health, and public order. So even if child marriage is an essential part of a religion, it can be struck down on the grounds of health. Even if polygamy is an essential part of a religion, it can be struck down on the grounds of morality. Article 44 talks about UCC, and Article 44 is a part of directive principle of state policy. So government cannot implement UCC. Constitutional makers also did not want the implementation of UCC. That's why they put it under DPSP. If you go through the debates of the Constituent Assembly, you will realize that our constitutional makers wanted to give us all the rights important for living a good life. However, the country at that time did not have the finances to implement all such rights. So the Constituent Assembly divided these rights into fundamental rights and DPSPs. They hoped that the government of the future would someday implement DPSPs as well. Example, earlier Article 45 talked about right to education of children. Government didn't have the money to implement it immediately after attaining independence. So it was put under DPSP. In 2002, the constitution was amended and right to education was made a fundamental right under Article 21A. Similarly, if the government wants, it can amend the constitution to make Article 44 also a fundamental right, which would ensure equality among men and women. 21st Law Commission said that UCC is neither necessary nor desirable at this stage in the country. So we don't need UCC. The 21st Law Commission's fanboys forget the difference between the authority of Law Commission of India and Supreme Court of India. With all respect to the members of the Law Commission of India, at the end of the day, it is a non-statutory body. Its recommendations are purely advisory. On the other hand, Supreme Court of India is a constitutional body. It is one of the three main pillars of democracy. Its judgments have the force of law. And in 1985, then Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud said, and I quote, "It is a matter of regret that Article 44 has remained a dead letter. Common Civil Code will help the cause of national integration by removing desperate loyalties to laws which have conflicting ideologies. It is for the state which is charged with the duty of securing a UCC, and it has the legislative competence to do so." So which has more weightage? Law Commission denying UCC or Supreme Court of India asking for it? If the government implements UCC, it will have to roll it back like the farm laws of India. I find this the funniest blackmail ever. What do you think? I'll explain why. Once UCC has been rolled out, there are two options available to the blackmailers. First, go to Supreme Court and fight against it. We all know what is going to be the result. Supreme Court will be in support of UCC. Second, go down the route you took during CAA and NRC. Take up arms against police. Burn down buses. Block roads. Communal violence. What this will cause is Election Commission of India to delay the 2024 elections till stability is returned in letter and spirit. Still, UCC will not be rolled back. So, pick your poison. By implementing UCC, majoritarian culture is being forced upon the minority. We will have to take Saath Feres instead of Kubule Kubule Kubule. And this is claimed by the ex-Chief Election Commissioner of India. Let me allay his fear by informing him that Hindu Marriage Act covers Hindu, Sikh, Buddhists and Jains. Basically all the religions who have their origin in Hindustan. And they follow their own customs in marriages. There has been no problem. Uniformity is in the matters of inheritance, adoption, maintenance, divorce, and so on. Some, like the self-proclaimed intellectuals and the ex-Chief Election Commissioner of India, Mr. Qureshi said, and disclaimer, this is shocking. In support of polygamy, Mr. Qureshi said, what will happen if a man falls in love with another woman? Burn his wife. That's why we need polygamy.
Did he really say that?
He said that. He also does not know who Jawaharlal Nehru was. If he didn't agree with him, it's okay. Many people don't. But to not know who he was is insane because he's an ex-IAS officer of India. Also, Mr. Qureshi sits on mock interview panels of civil service aspirants. So in case you are preparing for the exam, or if you know anyone who's preparing for the exam and they want to become a civil servant without studying and understanding Indian freedom struggle, Indian history, constitution and ethics, now you have a role model whom you can contact for more information. The link to Mr. Qureshi expressing his views is given below. Main concern of UCC is justice for all. A religion can have its roots in injustice, but a strong country cannot. We need UCC for our country, for our women, for the safety of our children. So the question boils down to this. Why would you not support UCC? Because you don't want India to be a strong country? Or are you too scared to stand up for what's right? Jai Hind.